King Richard. Now, what is King Richard? King Richard is a film looking at the Williams sisters. That's Venus Williams and Serena Williams, of course, big tennis stars. They are considered maybe the best tennis players ever, easily the best in the women's side of tennis. And this is a closer look, really, at their father, Richard Williams. Now, Richard Williams was their coach. In a sense, he was the man that was raising them and telling them that they were going to go on to great things. And this is a look at him, and he's a very interesting character, someone I knew nothing about, someone who I had no idea was so influential in them making it to where they are now. Now, Will Smith, of course, takes the lead role here as King Richard. That's kind of the main reason you want to go and see this, because it's Will Smith. That's really what caught my eye, and he's Will Smith. You know exactly what you're getting, and you're also joined by some other, good actors here. You've got John Bernthal playing a tennis coach here, and then some very talented actresses, Sanaya Sidney, Demi Singleton, and Anjani Ellis. I probably not said that right at all, but yeah, they're the five main characters in this movie. They're really the main family, and then of course the tennis coach. True story films are one of my favorite genres. They always seem to be really well executed. They're my favorite genre out there with like crime and stuff. When you put the two together, it's even better. But true story films, they've always just got really great performances. The story's always really well paced, really well told. It's probably because it's a true story. They know how to balance it out beforehand. They kind of got the groundwork there. And, it's my favourite way to learn about something that I don't know about. I'd rather watch a movie about it and get, informed that way. And this movie has, proved that point once again for me, that I love this genre of movie, because this was a brilliant film. It had me invested from start to finish, and I honestly could have watched more, and that's saying something, because it's a 2-hour 20 movie, and when the ending came round, I was kind of like, I could easily watch like another hour of this. It felt like it's really, really good. So I think that says it all when a movie is, quite a long film like this, but it didn't feel that long, and I felt I could have watched more. And the reason it didn't feel, as long as it was, is really down to great pacing and great performances and great acting. The story is just very well balanced. It's told at a really good pace. And, the performances throughout keep you so invested, and you're just really interested to see what's going to happen in the next scene. You're just sort of like, okay, what's coming next? What's happening? And when you're in a scene, you're loving it. You're really pulled in about what's going to be said, what's going to be done. It is fascinating. And, Richard Williams is a very fascinating character, really, really interesting. And he's played extremely well by Mr. Will Smith, of course. He made the character just really, you're just absorbed by him. There's something about him that's very fascinating, because he's not your average guy. He's not your average dad. He's got a little bit more to him. He's got just a little something. And Will Smith was just on top of his game here. And, at the end of the film, I kind of expected that, they show some clips of, like, the real, people in the movie. You've seen it in a lot of, like, true story films. And they showed, like, footage of the real Richard Williams. And it's like, wow, they kind of got the resemblance on point. Will Smith doing the voice really, really well, doing like the walk, the dress code, like everything. It was like spot on. Sidney and Singleton were great as the Williams sisters. They were just really, really good child actors. A lot of child actors are cringe, but here, really, really good. And so was everyone else in the family. It felt like a genuine family. It felt like a loving family. It felt like a real family. So you got to say credit there, because they just really brought that like togetherness and sort of wholesomeness of a family together in this movie to make it feel real. Now, John Bernthal, he comes in around halfway through the movie. I was kind of waiting on him because I knew he was in this movie, and I'm a big fan of John Bernthal ever since I first saw him in The Walking Dead as Shane. So when he rocks up, he was really good. He just added to it. You got Will Smith and John Bernthal both just doing their thing on top of their game. Great performances, sort of good interactions between them, because sometimes there's a bit of tension at times, because Richard Williams he's a stubborn man. He's kind of got these beliefs and stuff, and it was kind of nice to see that dynamic and see, it wasn't the smoothest ride to get where they were. It wasn't like your cliche things like they're really talented, they just go straight to the top. Like there's some obstacles, and the obstacle was sometimes their father. Now the film obviously covers a small section, in their career, in their life in general. you know, it's just covering the beginning of it all, really, when they're about 12 to 14. I believe that was the age gap we were looking at here, so it's just covering like a couple of years. But it was all just so fascinating. You know, I mean, this film is less about the sport and more about the father-daughter relationship, more about why they are the way they are, why they're so good. And it's not just down to their ability, it's down to how they were raised and coached, mainly by their father, you know, with John Bernthal's character, Rick Macy, coming in, obviously, to sort of, you know, be a real, you know, be the actual coach and get them to that next level. But he's the guy that laid the groundwork, was Richard Williams. He's the guy that really did it. And, you know, he's a character with flaws. You know, he's not the perfect father. He's got flaws. But he's a genuine guy. You know, that's what makes him so genuine, I think, is the fact he has flaws. But he kind of learns from them. And, you know, it's just what makes him a great father in this movie. I enjoyed this movie a hell of a lot. It exceeded my expectations, I'll be honest. And honestly, it does get kind of emotional at times. You know, you're kind of sitting there, you're like, damn, this is kind of, damn, you know, just one of those ones there. And I think it's just because of how good the performances were here, how well it was written, and the fact, you know, it's true, you know, and you know what's to come for these girls. So it just kind of makes it all feel very impactful as you're watching. Honestly, this was just extremely well executed, and I really don't see any noticeable flaws here. I just don't. This was an outstanding movie and one very well made and worth watching. Therefore, King Richard gets a 9.5 out of 10. That's a big one. That's probably the highest score I've given a movie this year. I don't, you know, June. I don't know what I gave June. What was that, 9? Maybe 9.5, but this was pretty good. I think this is kind of standing out more to me. I think this is a better all-rounded movie because I did have problems with June, but this, pretty much perfect. Could get a 10, but I don't want to be too hasty, but it's brilliant. I would say go see this movie. Whether you like tennis or not, it doesn't matter. I'm not a big tennis fan. I don't watch tennis. I don't really follow tennis, but I like movies. And if you like movies, you should go watch this movie because this is a great movie. What more is there to say? King Richard, go watch it. And I'll be back soon. We got some more movies coming up. Then we got House of Gucci on the horizon. Of course, Spider-Man is a month away. So yes, I'll be back with more. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you've seen the movie, leave a comment. Blah, blah, blah. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.